Hi everyone, welcome to today's trade of the day, and for today's trade of the day we'll be looking at the euro pound. Right, the euro pound, let's take a look at it on the monthly and I'll remove the stochastics. Alright, on the monthly you can see euro pound is not looking like it's showing much, just looks like on the past few months there has been a push to the downside and then a small pullback and then a continuation of that push, and a similar situation can be seen on the weekly, but on the daily is where you can see something of a push to that downside that we've seen earlier. All right, you can see this descending trend line over here where price makes a very nice bearish structure of lower highs and lower lows. All right, you can see this lower highs and lower lows consistently being made on price here. All right, it looks like price could be pushing towards the downside on the daily, and what we're going to do is we are just going to look for a possible bearish setup. And what I can see is on the 1 hour there is potential for a bearish setup. All right, you can see a push to the downside from here could be possible from this point onwards. All right, I will just change that to a sell entry. All right, and that's a potential sell entry for me because you can see that price basically tested as a support over here. All right, and then after that it came to test as a resistance one. So this is a horizontal overlap support that looks like it's pretty good for us to look at. All right, you can see that if I take a retracement from high to low, the 61.8% is pretty close to that sell entry. If I were to take an extension, which are basically zigzag moves on the market from high, low to high, right, you can see the 78.6% extension is basically in line with our sell entry. So this entire area here is a pretty strong area that we want to look at, where price has reacted before, and it's an area of Fibonacci confluence as well. Right, so that's our sell entry. We can also have a stop loss that is just right above this previous high over here. Right, why I put my stop loss slightly above that high is because I don't want to be taken out, all right, where price comes up and then stops me out before it reverses in the correct direction that I was looking at. Right, so I'll just give my trade some breathing room, right, and I will just put my stop loss slightly above the previous high. Right, with that stop loss, right, what I'm going to be looking at next is my take profit levels. Right, take profit, I will just very simply put it at this swing low, all right, and I'll put it at the next swing low as well. These are two possible take profit levels that we could be looking at on an intraday setup, all right, where we expect price to reverse at the sell entry and then make a push to the downside from there. If we were to take an extension from high to low to high, you will see the 78.6% extension is pretty close to the first take profit, and the 100% extension pretty close to our next take profit level as well. All right, and then finally what we're going to do, we're going to look at stochastics. All right, in stochastics I use a 5% 5 on percentage K smoothing and a 13 on the length. All right, and you can see if I were just to open the percentage D, which is a smoother than the percentage K. All right, and I will just make it thicker so you guys can have an easier look. All right, you can see that the stochastics is also approaching a strong level of resistance. All right, let me change that to resistance, and you can see every time price came up to test this, stochastics came up to test over here at this resistance, there is a strong push down and there is a corresponding move on price as well. Came back up to test on resistance, this push down, you can see a similar push down on stochastics, and similarly so for here. So as price comes up to retest the stochastics, all right, you expect a reversal from here to the downside. All right, price looks like it's already testing our sell entry. All right, and what we expect is a push to the downside from our sell entry over there as stochastics comes up and reverses at that resistance as well. All right, so that's what we see on today's trade of the day, and that's all I have for you guys for today's trade of the day. I wish you guys all the best, trade safe, stay safe, and I'll catch you guys again soon.